it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This is a why buy on Jinx, the loose cannon. She is, as of this day, which is Monday, November 4th, she is the newest champion to be released into the fields of justice. She is a ranged AD carry, or I guess we were supposed to call them Marksman now. Not really sure if that's ever going to stick, but I guess it makes sense, because like supports can carry just as hard as ADs, in my opinion. But she is a pretty sweet champ. She just got hit with some nerfs. So when she was released, this is kind of something I have wondered about, and I would really like to hear some feedback from you guys. Would you like me to try and get my Y buys out on champions that are released almost as soon as possible, or would you like me, like with Jinx, I decided to kind of try and wait a little bit until I felt like I had a bit like the understanding of the champion had settled down a little bit more. I didn't want to try and necessarily rush out the Y buy, but I don't know. I guess there are pros and cons on both sides. I think that the interest in the champion very early after release is probably at its highest. But I also feel like, you know, right away the community doesn't really understand or doesn't really know what to do with a champion like they would. Oh, you can see I get jumped on a little bit here. Like they would if you just give it a little bit of time. So let me know what you guys think. Was it a good decision to try and wait a little bit on Jinx, or would you have liked to see this Y buy within like the first week of release? Let me know down in the comment section below. But anyways, so Jinx, she is very, very strong. She's got a ton of damage and a ton of utility. A bunch of flashes being blown there. I actually kind of derped the early part of this lane. Caitlyn is just very, very strong in early laning. I think Jinx overall does very well against her. She's got a lot of tools to deal with her range, but still didn't really live through some of those trades very effectively, which is going to set us at an early disadvantage, which is unfortunate. But anyways, a little drink of water. Let's go ahead and get into her skills and abilities and start talking about what makes her Jinx. So I would say that some of the things that Jinx is kind of most ideal, or some of the kind of the role that she fits in the scope of ADs, is that she is definitely capable of hyper carrying. Her damage output is absurd. She's got tremendous steroids throughout her kit. She just is packed with a lot of damage. She also has a lot of utility, which is a little bit unique. In the realm of ADs, you've got, you know, Ashe. And, ooh, right there's a nice first blood, and gonna get the passive reset and get the second kill. So good job, good follow-up there on that Vi gank. But Jinx has a ton of utility, almost up there with Varus and Ashe, who are the other utility AD carries. But her big downside is that she doesn't really have any sort of escape. So she's got high damage, high utility, but is a little bit less safe than other ranged ADs. So anyways, let's start talking about her abilities. Her passive is called Get Excited, which is pretty sweet. There's actually kind of a funny story in Riot. I think they had like a joke about this, which they included in her passive, which is pretty cool. So basically what this does, you saw it when we got the first kill on Leona. Upon kill or assist, Jinx gets a huge movement speed buff. So this is one of the things that I would say very much characterizes her as a hyper carry, that if she can get 1 kill, she can get 5 kills. Like, her pentakill potential is through the roof. Her ability to just go super ham on your opponents is totally there, and it just makes her very hard to deal with. You know, like I said, if she gets 1 kill, she can get many more. She's got a lot of tools to catch people down. And it also can make her a little bit feast or famine. I found that in some games, if I struggle to do well and get some kills, then I tend to just fall behind, and you never get to use the mobility from this passive, which can be a bit of a problem. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like Kassadin, because it's only a matter of time before, you know, Jinx is going to get something going. Like, she just has so much damage that it's only going to be a matter of time before she's going to get a kill and get that reset going. So this is a very, very strong part of her kit. And like I said, once you get 1 kill, it's easy to get 2, 3, 4, or even 5. Next up would be Switcheroo. This is her Q. This is a toggled ability that will kind of modify her auto attacks. So in its basic form, this is the minigun. I believe they have names, but I just like to call them what they are. So you can see I'm using the minigun right now. In minigun form, she has 525 auto attack range, which is relatively short, but she gains a stacking attack speed buff. and this will stack up to 3 times. So basically, once you auto attack 3 times consecutively, you gain the maximum attack speed buff. And they did change the amount of attack speed given at earlier levels, so that was part of the nerf. So it starts at let's see, it starts at 30 and it goes up to 130%. So she basically gets a truckload of attack speed once she starts attacking someone. So with Jinx, her sustained damage is absurdly high. Primarily in part to this minigun mechanic. And you primarily want to keep it in minigun form, just because getting that stacking attack speed is very powerful, and it's very, very good for your damage. And this is very good. This is a fantastic mechanic for an AD carry to have, because AD carries are all about sustained DPS. And so Jinx having this ability that really allows her to maximize her sustained DPS is really, really good. Now, one thing I did actually look up, this is a little bit deceptive, because Jinx, so she gets a ton of attacks, 130%. This is like one of the biggest attack speed steroids in the game. I think the one that everybody also always talks about is Tristana's Q, which I believe grants her 90% attack speed for like a certain period of time, whereas Jinx's is just continuous, 130% attack speed at rank 9, if you max this first. But it's a little bit deceptive because Jinx's attack speed per level is absurdly low. Like I want to say it's like one of the lowest, like in the top 3 lowest in the entire game. The amount of attack speed per level she gains is only 1%, whereas with a Caitlyn, she gains 4% attack speed per level. So basically the idea here is that in order for Jinx to have attack speed, she needs to be using her minigun. This is, without a doubt, so extremely core to her game. There's a nice use of my ult, and my passive comes out. Trying to get the switch into Q. There's the double kill right there. Nice job. So I think Leona just kind of went a little too ham right there. But anyways, you have to rely on your minigun for your attack speed. That's basically what I'm saying. So it's powerful, but it's also core. Like this is very, very much core to her kit. So the other part of the Q is the rocket launcher. I used it at the very last auto attack to kill Caitlyn there. It's when she throws it over her shoulder. And basically she gains bonus range, and her attacks deal 110% damage in an AoE around the target. So this is very strong. This is, again, is an auto attack modifier. Now this one does come at the cost of mana per auto attack. So if you can't leave it on indefinitely, it's going to drain your mana. But you get bonus range up to 175 bonus range at max rank. So that would go from 525 to, I believe, 700. If I did that math correctly, 525 plus 175, I believe, is 700. So she gets 700 range. To my knowledge, Caitlyn is 650. And Tristana, with max range on her passive, is like 704. So she is right up there with some of these very, very high-ranging AD carries. I want to say the only champs that can beat her out are Kog'Maw with his W up, and Twitch with his ultimate up. Those are the only champions that can outrange her. So range is one of the most powerful abilities in the game for sure. So you get this bonus range. You get also the AoE is really cool. The AoE is capable of critting, which is nice because AD carries generally build crit. So you can use this for some fantastic wave clear. So we're going to follow there's the minigun, there's the E, more minigunning. Not going to switch into rocket form, but the rocket form provides tremendous wave clear. Once you get a couple of points into it and get a little bit of attack damage, you can pretty much like two-shot the caster minions, which is really nice. And basically in lane, when you're poking, this is really, really useful, just because it's an auto attack. Let's see here. There, it's just using my minigun. There I get the passive reset and just going super ham. There's the ult for a double kill. So just going ham in this mid-game section here. But, so yeah, basically you want to use your rocket launcher primarily for your damage. You want to use your minigun for poke in lane and for wave clear. And then also during like team fights, if you feel like it's not safe and you want to stay back, you can definitely use your Q. There I switch and get a couple of nice auto attacks on Caitlyn. And getting a couple of, there we go, rocket launcher auto attacks to clear off those minions. So wave clear, poke, and damage from safety is pretty much the primary time you want to use. And you want to be, switching between these two fairly fluidly. There is definitely a lot of opportunities where one is better than the other, and you want to be kind of capable of using both. Oh, unfortunately, I do get jumped on there. I was about to go pick up that kill. But Leona was there, so I flashed away. So that's her Q. This is probably one of the, if I had to like dream up an AD carry skill set, this ability would be in there. This ability is absurdly powerful. We actually get caught out here, and we're just going to both die, I think. So, overextended without enough ward coverage is an unfortunate death. But, so yeah, this Q is absurdly powerful for an AD carry. Next up would be her W. Her W is her Zap. This is another ability that got nerfed in her recent set of balance changes. This is a lined skill shot ability. And it deals physical damage, and it will reveal them and slow them. I thought the reveal got changed, but I think I may be wrong on that. But I think I don't know. I think this is patch 3.13. Maybe I was just wrong. But it's kind of an interesting ability. It has tremendous range. 1500 range is like a Nidalee spear, which is absurd. And it is a line skill shot. There is using the rocket launcher to clear those back minions, but it will hit the first enemy that it comes into contact with. And it does have a kind of like a, here's it right there. You could see if I hadn't speds up through so quickly. But I'll probably use it again in this little poke situation. But it kind of, there right there, that's the use of the Zap. It kind of has like a Xerath Q animation effect where it takes a moment where it like reveals its location and then it fires out, so it gives your opponent's counterplay to deal with it. And also it has tremendously high AD scaling, and it has a slow. So it has 140% of your AD, not bonus AD, but full AD, as well as a 210% base damage. So this scales tremendously well. One of the primary reasons why people like to build Bloodthirster first on Jinx is because it really makes use of the AD scaling on the Zap. There's a nice Zap right there onto the Leona. And so yeah, this is a really good ability for the CC that it provides, as well as the slow. There it goes again. Trying to get a kill onto Caitlyn. Got her very, very low. But unfortunately, I think if I would have landed that last Zap, I probably could have maybe picked up that kill. But we're just going to force her away, which is just fine. There's a W right there. It just does a lot of damage. I mean, there's just no way around it. What did they nerf? I want to say, I think they just nerfed the damage. For some reason, I can't remember. Leona is going way too ham here, even though I did get, I want to actually look this up. I want to make sure I get this correct, because I'm pretty confident that they did nerf this ability. In fact, my understanding is that, here we go. Let's see here. Let's take a look at exactly what they changed. So, I want to say that Zap, base damage reduced. Okay, so it looks like they only reduced the damage at early levels. It's the same at max rank, and at the level 1, it just got reduced by 20 damage. The mana cost was increased. Oh, and it no longer reveals stealth units. Okay, so it will reveal, but just not stealth units. Okay, so yeah, so this is a pretty darn strong ability. You can max this first if you like. Look at that, those numbers right there. With a BT and a second BF sword, I've got bonus 352 damage. That is appalling. Oh my gosh, that's like 460 damage on a rank 3 W. That is pretty crazy. Getting a little caught out here, gonna flash away. So pretty strong overall. Definitely provides you a big-time bonus for building AD. I like to max this ability second, Q first. You can definitely max W second if you're really good at hitting the skill shot. It can be tricky to land because of the delay, but the range is nice. The poke in lane is really nice. It's just a very strong ability. So next up would be her E. This is her Flame Chompers. This is her primary, this is her 1-point skill, and it's her CC ability that provides her a lot of her utility. So she tosses out 3 Chompers. They arm for a brief moment, and then whenever an enemy champion walks over, they are rooted and dealt damage. The root is 1.5 seconds, which is quite nice, and you can root up to 3 different opponents, but not multiple roots. So this is a really nice ability, giving Jinx some fairly strong. I'd say this is. I think a root is considered hard CC, which is rare on an AD carries, but it gives her kind of this self-peeling mechanic where she can deal with people who are trying to get on top of her. It makes her very effective in lane. You know, nice if you land your W, you can almost always also land your E, which is really great. And it just makes her very difficult to deal with because she's got her own CC. The cooldown is very high at level 1, and the damage scales with ability power, so there's not really a lot of reasoning to put a lot of points into this early on, as it's mostly just useful for its CC. but still a very useful ability nonetheless. Oh, going for an ultimate right there. So that's a nice time to start talking about her ult. I get some really fun ults in this game, which I will try to point out. So her, can I get this kill onto Teemo? Getting a nice haste there from Sona is just enough. There's the, they're using the rocket launch there for the bonus range. Helps me pick up that kill. So next up would be her ultimate, Super Mega Death Rocket. What a cool name. So basically this is a global lined skill shot. And I do get pretty much caught out and wrecked. But I'm just going to focus down the Jar of Man and get him with the W. Unfortunately, I do end up dying, but I did get one kill. So Super Mega Death Rocket is a lined skill shot that is global. It will hit the first enemy that it comes to contact with. It will explode in an AoE, dealing damage to all champions in that area. It does a base amount of damage, which scales very hard, and it actually has a little bit of like ramp up distance, so the further it travels, the more damage it does. Oh, not quite able to hit on that Death Rocket. So the further it travels, the more damage it does, and then it has bonus damage based on missing health. So it has an execute mechanic similar to Garen's ultimate or Riven's ultimate or Elise's Spider Form Q, where the more health that they're missing, the more damage it does. So a very strong execute ability. So this gives this like kind of puts Jinx's kit over the top because it's global. It's like Ezreal's ultimate or Ash Arrow, but then it also has this execute mechanic where you can kind of participate in some of these kills from across the map. It just makes her very, like I said, hard to deal with, hard to shut down because she can get these global kills and there's nothing you can really do about it. A lot of people coming in to wreck me here, but my team is converging very nicely. Going to try and stall them as much as I can, getting Jarvan very low. But, oh, I actually threw out my rocket right there. Was unable to finish because it got interrupted. Now focusing onto the Caitlyn. Very, very nice crescendo right there and finishing off that kill. So nice job by my team to come and help me out. Very good teamwork right there. So yeah, the Super Mega Death Rocket is nice. You want to try and finish off kills similar to an Ezreal ult. But yeah, that's her kit. So basically with Jinx, you've got some really nice things going on. You've got a fantastic attack speed stay rate on her minigun. You've got tremendous range and AoE damage on her her rocket launcher. And then she's got a really, really nice skill shot ability. Nuke on her W. There's the Flame Chompers. Probably going to throw out a Zap. Might as well. Staying in rocket launcher form for the range to try to stay safe. There's the Zap. So you've just got a nice mix of high damage on your Q and your W and your R and a lot of utility on your W and your E. And then your passive just really helps you to be a snowballing hypercarry type marksman. So that's Jinx. She has a lot of really good lane matchups. Her laning is very strong just because she can push very, very fast with her Q in both forms. Gives her really, really nice pushing ability and trading ability. And then, you know, her W as well helps with that. She's got some nice CC to help keep herself safe. So her laning overall is very, very strong and very powerful. There's the kill. We want to watch this one more time. This was the first of the Heimerdinger kills. So Heimerdinger, I think, had a battle with Lux, and I was watching this. I see him recall on the minimap, and I say, hey, I'm doing this. So I throw out the rocket. Here it comes, and boom! There's the kill. That was very funny. Procs my passive to get the bonus move speed. I think, yeah, Vi was laughing. She was giving me a nice LOL in chat. Very funny use of the ult. So anyways, Jinx, very, very strong in lane because of her damage and her CC. Her big weakness, though, is if you can get on top of her a lot, she really has a hard time. So Leona is actually a pretty good support against Jinx because if you get on top of her and you're able to try to deal a lot of damage to her, she has limited mobility if she's not using it offensively and getting a lot of kills. This Jarvan is just going super ham. Oh, but so much CC is going to get me in trouble, and I am going to end up dying. But look at this. My team is converging very, very nicely. Going to pick up a couple of these kills. So good job, team, to help me out. So yeah, that's kind of Jinx's thing. She's got tremendous damage, tremendous utility, very strong carry potential. But then, you know, she has limited mobility, so she does need to be peeled for. And you do need to kind of be aware of some of these matchups where if champions get on top of you, you're going to have a harder time. So specifically champions like in a Kali or something like that can repeatedly jump on top of you. It can make like difficult. But she does have a lot of good matchups. Ooh, pause. I think I got another kill. This was on Heimerdinger again. So let's slow this down. So I see them fighting once again, and I just kind of throw out. Where does the ult come out? There's the ult. And Heimerdinger! Boom! I love that ult so much. It's so funny, I think, when it works. So anyways, next let's start talking about builds on Jinx. The consensus, I think, from the onset and that has stayed relatively true is that Jinx benefits very much from stacking attack damage. So you could see in this game I started BT, because BT gives you more AD than any other item in the game. And I think I way overextended here. It's kind of silly. I do pick up the kill on Caitlyn, but then fall to Leona. So Jinx definitely benefits from stacking attack damage. So I started with BT, and then I went into Infinity Edge, and then Static Shiv, and then I will be finishing Last Whisper. So big ticket AD items are really good on Jinx. This is because she gets a lot of free attack speed from her Q, and she doesn't really have any reason to stack attack speed, just because I've played a game focusing more on the rocket launcher and getting like a man immune and getting some attack speed, but her her scaling attack speed is so incredibly low that it just doesn't work. You need to use the minigun for the attack speed. You need to allow that to be your big steroid. I mean, just look how much damage I'm doing to Jarvan right there. Just with my minigun hits so hard. So stacking attack damage is a really good choice on Jinx because she gets so much natural attack speed from her minigun. But yeah, BT is a very good first item. You could go BT Last Whisper. That would be a very good choice. I like to throw Infinity Edge in there because I think those crits are so good. So getting the AoE crit there, just look at how this team fights are snowballing so hard. I get one kill, I get another kill. We just really are able to crush these team fights with this snowbally Jinx. So yeah, focusing on attack damage early. You can get one attack speed at him, like Static Shiv or Phantom Dancer are definitely not wasted on her. I'm going to bury her here to try to stay alive. I was a little concerned about that damage over time from those Teemo mushrooms with Landry's hurt really hard. So yeah, focusing on attack speed is not what you want to do. You want to focus on attack damage and penetration, which is nice. But yeah, Jinx there's a nice kill with my W. And she just, I mean, if you remember at the beginning of this game, we were getting bullied around pretty hard in those early levels, but we had a nice Vi gank that got me a kill, and we were really able to just kind of storm back in this game. And specifically this mid game, Jinx is very strong in the mid game. Once she gets max rank Q, her DPS is very high, and her utility is still very high. Like her W still has the slow, her E still has the root, her R still has the execute. So she has a lot of damage and a lot of utility in the mid game, which make her very strong. And she scales really well. She's a fantastic team fighter. Just able to really do a lot of work. There's a nice use of my rocket launcher to pick up one kill, and I think they are going to get away. But she's really able to snowball these games out of control with all of the damage and utility she has. She's very hard to shut down. But kind of, if you do need to shut her down, focus on champions with mobility. Mobility is her biggest weakness because she doesn't really have a ton unless she's getting kills. So if you're using mobility offensively against her, and she needs to use mobility defensively to peel and escape, she doesn't have that. Her only mobility is tied to her offense when she gets kills and gets the resets. That's her only built-in mobility. So you need to keep that in mind if you're playing with or against Jinx, that her kit very much relies on getting kills and snowballing and doing a lot of work that way. And so if you can get on top of her, you can keep her down. But, it's one of those things where she still does a lot of damage, so she's very hard to keep down entirely. But she's very strong. I think that she's definitely in a more balanced state. Her early game isn't quite as overpowering to balance out with her very strong snowball potential. But she's still very powerful. She's got a ton of damage. She's got great builds. She can carry late game. She's just a very strong AD. So I definitely recommend you pick her up. She is really fun to play, I would say, too. And overall, a very strong choice. So definitely pick her up. I don't think that these recent nerfs shut her down too heavily. She's still a very strong choice. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, leave a comment down below about when you want to see Y buys for new champions, within the first week, or, after kind of the dust settles and the perception is more kind of solidified. If you're new to my channel, feel free to rate and subscribe for more videos like this. I post League of Legends content, frequently throughout the week, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.